Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about Kimberly Small and why her leadership is important to women's studies and our understanding of advocacy and community. For my project, I chose Kimberly Small because I wanted to focus on a woman leader whose work directly impacts vulnerable people in her community. Me personally, I am a criminal justice major, so Kimberly Small is doing a lot of work in the field I want to work in someday. Often when we think about leadership, we think of politicians, celebrities, or CEOs of large corporations, but leadership can look like advocacy, emotional support, and creating change within communities. Kimberly Small represents that type of leadership. She is the CEO of Signs of Hope in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is a nonprofit organization that supports survivors of sexual violence and human trafficking. I think more people should know about Kimberly Small because the work she does is extremely important, especially in a city like Las Vegas. Signs of Hope provides services such as counseling, crisis hotlines, prevention, education, and advocacy for survivors. Under Small's leadership, the organization has expanded outreach programs and worked with local agencies to help people who have experienced violence and exploitation. Before becoming CEO of Signs of Hope, Kimberly Small worked in education and nonprofit leadership for many years. According to the organization's website, she worked as a teacher in the Compton Unified School District and later held leadership roles focusing on education and community empowerment. Her background in education is important because it shows how her leadership developed around helping and supporting people. One of her major achievements has been increasing public awareness about sexual violence and human trafficking in southern Nevada. Las Vegas is a city with a large tourism industry, and during major events such as the Super Bowl and the Las Vegas Grand Prix, concerns about trafficking often increase. Under Kimberly Small's leadership, Signs of Hope partnered with community organizations and law enforcement to raise awareness and provide support services during these events. I think this is important because her work focuses on prevention and survivor-centered care rather than just punishment. A lot of discussions about violence focus only on criminal justice responses, but Signs of Hope also emphasizes healing, counseling, and emotional support. Survivors need more than just legal action. They also need spaces where they feel safe, supported, and believed. Kimberly Small's leadership reflects that idea. Another reason I chose Kimberly Small is that her leadership challenges traditional ideas about what leadership looks like. Society also often associates leadership with power and authority. These traits are usually associated with masculinity. However, Kimberly Small's leadership style focuses more on empathy, collaboration, and advocacy. Her work shows that leadership can also mean helping people heal and creating stronger communities. This connects one of the women's studies concepts we discussed in class. The personal is political. This means that personal experiences are also often connected to larger social and political systems. Sexual violence and trafficking are not just private problems affecting individuals. They are connected to larger issues like sexism, inequality, poverty, and exploitation. Kimberly Small's work helped bring attention to these issues and challenges the idea that violence against women should stay hidden or ignored. Another concept that applies to her leadership is intersectionality, concept developed by Kimberly Crenshaw. Intersectionality explains how different forms of oppression overlap, especially based on race, gender, and class. Many of the survivors supported by Signs of Hope face multiple forms of inequality at the same time. For example, women of color, low-income women, and trafficking victims often experience barriers when trying to access healthcare, legal support, or safety. Kimberly Small's leadership underscores the importance of understanding overlapping experiences and providing support that meets diverse needs. I also think her work is important because it highlights how women leaders often perform invisible labor. Emotional labor is the work involved in caring for people emotionally, listening to trauma, and providing support. This kind of labor is essential in organizations like Signs of Hope, but society often overlooks it because it is associated with women and caregiving. Kimberly Small's leadership often shows why that work matters. Overall, Kimberly Small's contributes to our understanding of women's leadership because she demonstrates how advocacy, care, and community support can drive real social change. Her work reminds us that leadership is not only the authority or recognition, can also be about compassion, healing, and helping vulnerable populations. One major takeaway from this project is that women's work deserves more visibility and recognition, especially when it creates meaningful change in communities. Kimberly Small may not be a nationally famous figure, but her leadership has made a real impact on survivors and families in Southern Nevada. Her work reflects important women's studies, concepts like intersectionality and the personal is political, while also challenging traditional ideas about leadership itself. Thank you.